Hello to all our Perth viewers. The following show is coming to you live from Melbourne, and Prince Philip has surrendered his driver's licence. We now go live to the London Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, where Francine Cromwell has an exclusive interview with the Prince. Francine, can you hear me? Francine? Has she fallen asleep? Francine!
Sorry, mate. You caught me tweeting.
Okay, so where is the Prince?
He's in line. He's still in line.
He's still in line?
Yes, we are approaching hour 6 at the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency with no sign of Prince Philip leaving.
He's the husband of the Queen. Can't he go through some kind of express line?
Yes, he is in the express line.
Okay, well, yeah, we can work around that. That's no problem. We will just come back to you later in the episode for our exclusive interview with Prince Philip.
May?
Yes?
From what I'm hearing on the inside, we might have to push this interview back to next week's episode.
Man, if only he'd been moving this slowly when he hit those ladies. Forgotten yours. Making news this week. The Royal Commission has accused the Murray-Darling Basin Authority of taking a head-in-the-sand approach to climate change. In response, the authority said, well, we're not going to put our heads in the water. There's dead fish everywhere. In an Australian first, the ACT may legally recognise animals' feelings. Prime Minister Scott Morrison was quick to point out that this will not extend to the animals he sees in zoos or in detention centres. Edgy, I love it. Health experts have warned that one scone with jam and cream contains up to 1/3 of your daily calories. So you should only have 3 per day. A Belgian security expert has exposed a Facebook feature that allows users to search for hidden photos of their female friends wearing bikinis. That's a true thing that happened. The expert claims he discovered the feature by total accident. Today, right now, is International Battery Day, or as those of us who are single on Valentine's Day call it, but I already celebrated that last week. I knew that would be a slow burn and I appreciate it. In entertainment news, Clive Swift, who played the long-suffering husband of Hyacinth Bucket in the British comedy series Keeping Up Appearances, has died. Isn't that sad? The actor was 82 when he finally kicked the bouquet. And lastly, and this is amazing, for $20, there is a rehab centre in Oregon who will write your ex's name on a salmon and feed the salmon to a bear. Isn't that awesome? And for $25, they will write your ex's name on a fleeing police officer and feed him to Godzilla. We've got a great show, gang. Tonight on the show, Sam Wilson is going to tell us what it's like working in a backpacker hostel, and we have stand-up comedy from Lauren Bock. We are live all around Australia and Tasmania. Come be a part of our studio audience. Go on, tell them, voiceover.
That's right, May. If you'd like to be in our live studio audience, all you need to do is not die. And then go to the Mainland Tonight Facebook page for all the details. If you have died and would still like to join a studio audience, contact The Weekly or your local cemetery. Audience applause now.
Steve, congratulations on winning the New South Wales Prize for Literature. You are now the second person to win an award for writing a memoir about your experience as an asylum seeker on Manus Island.
Awesome. So will this help with my asylum application?
Yeah, nah. But just to be sure, let's add it to the system and see what it has to say. So sorry, Steve.
Can't say I'm surprised.
But on the upside, this automated system that lets me update your application and get immediate answers on your processing status, lawyer's dream.
Yeah, that almost makes up for the shortages around here in food, water, electricity, medicine. But anyway, if we could just focus on my...
Steve, you've just won an Order of Australia medal.
Well, is that going to help?
It's an Order of Australia medal. Of course not.
Steve. I know you didn't want me to interrupt you while you're meeting with your incompetent lawyer,
Hey.
but I have amazing news. You just won the Nobel Prize.
Oh.
Wow, which one?
Well, all of them.
Oh, come on. They got to let me in now.
Well, let's add it to your application and find out. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, my bad. It just wasn't refreshing. Still a no. But, they will fly you to Oslo for the ceremony.
Well, can I just stay in Oslo?
What? No, you'd have to come back here, obviously, but don't worry, we'll work this out.
Nah, look, you've done your best, but there's just really no way that we can ever convince the government that detained refugees should be allowed to Australia.
Oh, but what about when the next government gets in?
You're joking, right?
Yes, I am.
Steve, brace yourself, because I don't think that you can handle this news. Are you bracing yourself?
I'm bracing!
Okay, because you've just won a Latin Grammy! Oh, turns out your WhatsApp remix of Despacito has been topping the charts worldwide. How you wrote that by typing one note at a time into your phone, I'll never know.
Oh, well, I don't suppose it's worth adding that to the application.
Okay.
What does it say?
It says there's not enough room in the application to add any more awards. Steve, is there something we've missed? Is there anything else you can do?
Let's see. I can play cricket.
Cricket? Mate, why didn't you tell me this 6 years ago? I didn't need to put that in the system. You're in. No.
Please keep that applause going for Banjo. Yeah, Banjo, ladies and gentlemen. My amazing sidekick. So Banjo, tell me, what's it like being a mime in 2019? Let that be a warning to all of you. And now it's time for Celebrity Spotify Lists. Yeah. This is great. This is great. So what we've done, we've managed to gain access to the top 3 most listened to songs from celebrities' Spotify lists. And first up, we have noted celebrity Bill Shorten. On Bill's list, we have, in a minute, any second, Bill's list, we have Boring by Blink-182. Pillow Talk by Zayn Malik, and Asleep by The Smiths. On Prince Philip's list, we have I Got a Car by George Strait, Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf, and Airbag by Radiohead. On Luke Hemsworth's list, that's the other Hemsworth brother, not the one you're thinking of, we have What About Me by Moving Pictures, Not Pretty Enough by Casey Chambers, and Brother, Can You Spare a Dime by Bing Crosby. On fast food workers' lists, fast food workers, that other well-known celebrity, we have Come to My Window by Melissa Etheridge, Upgrade You by Beyonce, and Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. On my ex's list, and this took a long time to find, we have Gold Digger by Kanye West, Evil by Interpol, and Who Do You Think You Are Kidding, Mr. Hitler by Bud Flanagan. On Harvey Weinstein's list, ooh, yuck, we have Lay Your Hands on Me by Bon Jovi, Jumpin' Jack Flash by the Rolling Stones, and My Ding-a-Ling by Chuck Berry. On Pinocchio's list, and here's a real celebrity, yeah, Pinocchio, we have Don't Lie by Black Eyed Peas, I'm Not Your Toy by La Rue, and I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. And lastly, on Kanye West's list, we have, wait for it, I Am a God by Kanye West, I Am a God by Kanye West, and I Am a God by Kanye West. That's right, and that was Celebrity Spotify Lists. All right, and now, Belinda, I believe you had something that you wanted to say. Is that right?
That's right, May.
Correct.
Before we go to a commercial break, I just want to get serious for a second. There's something really important that I want to talk to you all about, and it's
Hold on to that thought.
Sorry, excuse me?
Just hold on to what you were going to say. I just have to go pee. I'll just be a minute, trust me.
Sir, I can't just hold on for a second. We're in the middle of a show.
Yeah, I'll just be a minute.
Okay. Should we go on? Yeah, great. Okay, as I was saying, there is an issue that I really want to talk to you all about, and it's very close to
I'm back. Told you I'd only be a minute. I'm a really quick peer.
Okay.
Actually, to be honest, I made a bit of a mess in there. But I'm back now, so go on.
Thank you. Okay. As I was saying, there comes a time in everybody's life where you can either just sit idly by or stand up and say something. This is... Sorry, who is that?
My bad. I have to take this. I'll just be a minute.
Okay.
Yes. 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 My wife wants a divorce. Apparently I don't communicate well enough.
Well, I am very sorry about that, sir, but we'll have to leave all your personal problems on the shelf for just a second, because I've only got a limited amount of time, and what I want to say is very, very important.
So sorry, go on.
Thank you. What I was going to say was, as a woman, it's very important that we are...
Oh no!
What the hell is that?
I'm being abducted by aliens!
Oh, come on! You're what?
I'll just be a minute!
You know what, guys? I'm going to level with you here. I'm not sorry that he's being abducted by aliens, because now we can finally get on with the show.
I'm back!
How are you back so fast if you've been abducted by aliens, and how did you get that beard?
For what was only just a moment for you was a lifetime for me. I saw things, experienced true love for the very first time, and returned bearing news from the aliens.
What news?
They abducted me to tell you that there is a really annoying guy in the audience who keeps interrupting you.
Funny about that. Well, at least somebody noticed.
Yeah, I think they might have the wrong audience, though. No one like that here.
Okay, if you say so. Finally, guys, back to what I was about to say. Kanye to Hillary Swift. Kanye to Taylor Swift. Trump to Hillary. Guys, we have a massive problem. Men interrupting with...
time.
Oh, come on. I'm only going to be a minute, all right?
After the break, my friend Sam Wilson is here to tell us what it's like working in a backpacker hostel. You're watching Mainland Tonight. And now, someone who has experienced the highs and lows of working in backpack hostels and budget accommodation, my friend Sam Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen. Sam, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I've conned you into another one of my crazy scams.
Yes, again, yeah.
Yeah. Sam and I have known each other literally since we were 4 years old. So this is not the first time that I've interviewed her about something that I already know about. Yep. But here's the thing. Sam worked at a backpacker hostel. When was that? Like,
I worked there for 5 years.
Yeah. And it was kind of while we were at uni, right? Or just after uni?
Just after uni.
Yeah. And at the time, because I was very self-centered, I did not think...
Was?
How dare you? I'm in a room full of cameras and lights all pointed at me. How would you dare call me self-centred? No, but I didn't... You worked at a backpack hostel and that seemed completely normal. Yeah. I did not... All your crazy stories, I just went, yeah, fair enough. That seems completely reasonable. But when I look back on them... What? What in God's name?
Yeah.
Tell them about your first day at the hostel.
My first day at the hostel, I was doing a 3-hour casual shift, so it was like someone training me and all that kind of thing. But what actually happened was I turned up and the person who was supposed to be training me hadn't turned up. So it was about 10 a.m. The night guy was still there, so he'd been working since 11 p.m. the night before. And his friend, who was a bussy at the local dance club,
because that's the other thing. The hostel was on King Street.
It was on King Street.
So if you're not from Melbourne, don't go to King Street.
King Street's great. It's a vibrant part of our economy. So he was stuck there because he couldn't go because there was no one to take over, and his friend was there because he'd witnessed / participated in a large bikie brawl, complete with blasting at the Gentlemen's Club, and so he was having a quiet beer at 8 a.m. to sort of just, relax.
But you still worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were very nice. Yeah.
I'm sure they were. So the other story I remember you telling me is about a couple that checked in from Singapore, and
So they were really nice. The guy was really smiley and stuff. And then some other guests, they didn't check in. They were just sort of waiting around in the reception area one day, and it turned out that the woman had fallen in love with the cult leader. And had come to Melbourne from Singapore, and so her husband and his brother, who was a policeman, had followed them and were coming to sort of snap her out of it and wrest her back home again.
So the couple that turned up at the backpack hostel, one of them was a woman who had been ensnared by the cult leader, and the other was the cult leader.
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Yeah.
So that went well?
Well, I was doing online backgammon at the time, just playing that, practicing. It was very quiet, so I had a really good technique going, some good strategies to play for the evening when the other backpackers got back. So I was just by myself, and so then all this commotion started. So I called the cops, obviously, because I couldn't really unpack what had happened. And so as soon as I said, "Everyone stop! I've called the cops," everyone froze and then just sat there with their legs crossed, just chilling out all together, waiting for the cops to arrive. And that's when everyone started explaining what had gone on.
Yeah.
So the cops arrived and they were like, everyone's really fine. No one was doing anything. So I rewound the security camera and showed them the footage of this semi-confrontation going on. They were like, maybe it was a good idea that you called us. And then basically the woman sort of said she's snapped out of it and realised that she'd, gone off with the cult leader.
Yeah.
And so everyone was happy again, I guess. She checked out.
Yeah.
Cult leader stayed for a few more days sightseeing.
Yeah, I'm going to say you solved all problems. It was completely on you.
Oh. What am I doing?
Yeah, talking to a microphone.
Talking to them. I've got to talk into the mic.
Oh, yeah. So, Now, you got to know some of the guests, right?
So, yeah.
I mean, because in my head, every time I've stayed in a backpacker hostel, it's been, maybe 2 nights, 3 nights. But there were people who stayed a long time, right?
Yeah, the longest was about 18 months.
Right.
Yeah. We didn't like him. Yeah, there were some people who sort of got a bit stuck there, so that was a bit more depressing, some for 2 or 3 days. The ones I liked most are the ones who stayed for a little while and then moved into a share house deal. Mm-hmm. So Benny ended up moving into my share house and then stayed there for 18 months, so that was fine. And I've still got friends today from then.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Was it the cult leader who stayed in your house?
Not the cult leader.
I think that's sensible. All right, please thank Sam Wilson. Okay. Thanks, Sam. Always help me out with my crazy nonsense. Tonight's comedian is an award-winning stand-up who has written for SBS Comedy and The Age. Check out her upcoming Melbourne Comedy Festival show, Rock Out With Your Bock Out, from the 7th to the 21st of April. Please welcome Lauren Bock.
Hey friends, how are we going? Good? Excellent. Thank you. Definitely not a cult leader yet. Still still hope for me. Thank you so much for having me down here. Thanks for May. She's doing a brilliant job hosting. I will say this, I do get this a little bit. People introduce me as a comedian, right? But occasionally I will get comedienne, right? A comedienne. Oh, thank you. En français, so français. I get a couple of extra letters to make up for the misogyny. That's great. Let me get this straight. I'm not a comedian. I don't tell jokettes, okay? So I'm a Melbourne girl. Sorry about that. I also live in the north of Melbourne. Sorry about that as well. It's all right. We are going to lock down the borders. I'm in Brunswick. I'm hoping for our own Brunsit soon. Fingers crossed. I will say I wasn't originally from the north. I moved there, and I find that it does infect me somewhat. I know I'm very close. Just waking up one day, shaving one side of my head, riding my bike on the footpath without a helmet. Emily, right? A dress made entirely out of beards, like, which is beautiful. So yeah, I was from the south, originally south. Now I'm in the north. I think there is some very subtle differences between the two that I feel I'm very well versed in. You know, in the north, right, you have low carb, right? In the south, gluten-free. In the north, we have yoga, Bikram. In the south, we have CrossFit. In the north, you have yarn bombing. In the south, you have having a job. They're very subtle. Very subtle differences, but they are there. I'm obviously in the north now. And look, finally, I just want to say, because it's that time for me to start talking about dating, good. It's dating time. I've dated quite a bit in my life. Just not going to lie about it. Bragger much? Mum thinks so. But I got to tell you, the most unusual person that I dated, he was actually very normal, but he had a very different job. Right? His job actually, that he was a Mars One candidate. Now, if you don't know what that is a person that has been chosen by a program to go to Mars forever. To die. Which I just think is something we can wish for all of our ex-boyfriends, is it not? Right? Unfortunately, that didn't last. Not necessarily because of the Mars thing and the dying thing and all that. I guess what you can probably say is it probably takes a comedian to tell an astronaut, I need space. That's been me, guys. Thank you so much and have a wonderful night. Cheers.
Lauren Bock, everybody. Yeah.
Me, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Applaud me. I'm awesome.
Well.
You can catch Lauren at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and we will catch you next week on Mainland Tonight. Good night.
Four.